Hey everyone, welcome back to my kitchen. Today I've had a requested recipe to make some pumpkin rice. So here goes. Stay tuned if you want to find out how I make my pumpkin rice.
I won't stop, no, 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 no. I won't stop, I won't stop. I won't stop, no, 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 no. I won't stop, I won't stop.
So yeah, let's do this. These are the ingredients that I'll be using to make this rice. Now the first thing that I'm gonna do is I'm gonna melt roughly about 15 grams of butter in a pan, and I'm gonna firstly add the garlic. I do find that when you add the garlic first, it just releases so much flavor into your dish. So I'm just gonna saute this now for a couple of minutes. Then I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna add my vegetable bouillon cube. I'm gonna just swirl that around a bit just to get it loosened up and melted. Once that's done, I'm gonna go ahead and add my onions. Now I'm using just a medium-sized onion that I've sliced that I've made into slices. I mean, you can chop them anyhow, but I don't know, I just like to see them like this. Then I'm gonna go ahead now and add my pumpkin, and as you can see that I've chopped these relatively small. Well, I'm trying to show you, but you know the camera is not focusing, so yeah, you get the drift, just I like to slice my pumpkin relatively small, because then I don't need to really mash it out. You know, a lot of them will break away, and then you won't have too much big clumps of pumpkin in your rice. So after that, I've added in my spring onions and my thyme. Then I'm gonna go ahead and add some boiling water. Now this is roughly about 2 cups of boiling water. Just gonna cover that now and let that come to a boil. Now after about, I'd say roughly about 7 to 8 minutes, when it started to boil, I'm gonna go ahead and add my coconut milk. I'm gonna also cover that and let that come to a boil for about another 5 to 6 minutes. In the meantime, I'm gonna prepare my pumpkin mix. So what I'm doing, I'm just gonna pour it into a cup and add water. And I'm doing this because this comes with noodles and I don't want these in the rice. So what I'm doing now, I'm just pouring it in a cup. I'm just gonna stir it just to, you know, release all those, you know, just to loosen it a bit, and then I'm going to strain it off into the pot. Now I've not added any extra salt or anything like that, because this mix has salt in it, plus I've added the stock cube. But what you can do as you go along, you can taste your pot, and if it needs more seasoning, go right ahead and add it in. Now after about a couple of minutes, I'm gonna go ahead and add the rest of the spring onions, and I'm also gonna add another few sprigs of thyme. Now this is completely optional, and I'm also gonna add a Scotch bonnet pepper, which is also optional. If you don't want the heat, don't put it in there, and if you want more of a heat, what you can do is, once the Scotch bonnet's cooked, before you add the rice, you can just go ahead and, you know, just burst it a little bit just to release the heat. But I just want the Scotch bonnet pepper just for the flavor. Now let that boil up for another few minutes, and I'm gonna go ahead and add my rice. Now I'm using roughly about 2 cups of rice here. Now guys, how I measure my rice is, I like when the liquid is just a little bit above the rice, especially when you're cooking a pot like this where you've got a lot of ingredients going on in there. You don't want your rice to get undercooked, and you do not want your rice to be mushy. Now I had too much liquid in it, so I'm gonna go ahead now and take it out. But what I've done, I've just strained the liquid off in a pan, and now just adding back, because you know what, we don't want to lose all of them goodness there. No, we're gonna put them right back in there, because them say waste not want not. Then so I'm gonna give that a stir. Can you see where the liquid is compared to where the rice is? That's how I cook my rice. Now I'm gonna cover that and leave that between a medium to low heat. Let it come to a boil and let some of that liquid reduce. Once that liquid reduces, I like to go in with a fork. Now please use a fork. Do not use a spoon to stir your rice, because on a porridge boil. Just use a fork, just fluff it up. You know, there's some people that say just tease up the rice a little bit, just to get, you know, none of on the bits at the bottom will become unstuck when you use the fork. And you know what I'm doing now, I'm just gonna go ahead now and add some cling film. I think some of you guys call it a saran wrap, over the pot. And then I'm also gonna go ahead and use some foil paper over that. I'm gonna cover that, and I'm gonna let this steam for about 15 minutes. Now you wanna make sure that your heat is on a low flame, and when I say low, I mean low. You want to have your heat on the lowest heat possible. And when you do this, don't bother the rice, just leave it to steam through. Now be careful when you take off this cling film, because remember, it's going to be really steamy. You see that steam that's built up, and what that does, it cooks the rice from the bottom as well as the top. Just take your time. Can you see what that steam? Release that steam, because please not go burn up on no hand and come back and say Shellz make no burn up on no hand, you know. You can't help you, no. Don't bother with that. Use caution. And there you have it, guys. Your rice is ready. Now I'm using my fork just to tease that baby a little bit. Yeah, man, get rid of that pepper, because nobody don't want no pepper bursting on the rice. And you know some people are pepper freaking, but I'm not really about to have that pepper burst in there. So just gonna go ahead now and just, you know, go through that rice, check that rice, just to make sure all the grains are cooked. And as you can see, guys, I'm literally using my fork to go to the bottom of the pot, and as you can see, every grain is cooked perfectly. It's not mushy, it's not too hard, it's just the way I like my rice. Let me just give you a little close-up look. Have a look again. Look at that, look at that, look at that. Guys, come on. Look at that. Look at that. See? Delicious. Now, guys, you can serve this up with whatever as a good, you know, side dish. Whatever you want to serve it up with. Now, I served this up with some steamed fish, and yes, it was really good. There you go. Just have another look. Have another look. Look at those rice grains, guys. Listen, make sure you follow the way my instructions, and you will have this rice. Now, the rice that I used was some basmati rice. You know, you guys gotta put on a little bit of that greenery for that, you know. A little decoration, you know, to make it look pretty for the gram. Guys, thank you so much for watching. If you're new to my channel, welcome. So good to have you here. Make sure you hit that subscribe button. If you like my content, turn on that notification bell to let you know when I upload a new video. If you're still here with me, leave me a bowl of rice emoji. And as usual, aim high, work hard, but smart, because the sky's the limit and only you can limit yourself. Thanks again for watching, guys. Bye.